Well, 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 the plot thickens today on Makayo Messenger. Exciting things are happening in the world, and it never ceases to blow us away. Robert, great to see you. Steady Waters, Michelle, good to see you guys in the chat. And boy, oh boy, guys, did we ever think we'd see this come to pass? Very intriguing indeed. If you haven't already, please do hit that like button, that subscribe button, that notification bell. And if you can please give to help support this ministry, we thank God daily for your support. Thank you so much. It's one of those things where, it ain't over till it's over, as they say, right? And people are starting to wake up in the world to what's really going on. Hey, David, great to see you. Ethel, good to see you. And they're starting to fight back in the ways that they can. Boy, I got to say, I love Matt Gaetz. What a great guy. This guy is amazing. He's kind of a one-man show over there standing up for a reason. Now, it's not to say that Satan's not still working through all this. You got to remember that too. There's a duality here. And that's, I realized that a couple of years ago when I was kind of fighting the good fight, and then God kind of tapped me and said, hey, I just want you to know this is supposed to go this way. This is going according to plan. And that kind of woke me up, and I said, oh, okay. And I kind of shifted gears and moved over more to talking about God's plan for the end times rather than trying to stop the Titanic from sinking. The Titanic is going to sink, okay? That's part of the deal. But it is interesting to see people's journeys throughout the sinking of the Titanic and seeing them do their effort to patch it up and try to keep it afloat for as long as possible. And there's still a nobility in that. What you have to understand is that there's still a good side to people fighting for righteousness, even if at the end of the day, God is saying to Zedekiah, hey, Nebuchadnezzar is going to invade, and it's just going to happen. Okay, you're not going to stop it from happening. It's going to happen. And so you got to give kudos to the guy who stands up in the middle of Congress here and throws, lets the skunk loose in the room, so to speak. The name of him who must not be spoken, he who must not be named, got named here in this. And I won't play it because they'll ding me for that. But basically, you can watch this. But basically, he stands up and they're asking who do you nominate to be the Speaker of the House, and he nominates Mr. T. And you all know who Mr. T is. Not talking about the guy from the A-Team. I'm talking about the guy who once was in the House of White a few years back and technically should be there now. But that's a whole other story, although that is this story, really. But what's interesting is the reaction, because I think the name alone, just saying that name in the House of Representatives is really like a cannonball. So I think it's pretty hilarious. And I don't know if I can I'd like to show you maybe just clips of it. Let me see if I can do it without revealing. I don't know if I can get it for. I'll just let you go watch it. It'd be safer that way. But anyway, so very interesting. So what comes to mind obviously is that even possible? Is that legal? Can you do that? And the answer is yes, you can. And this is what's great about our government, our republic, our Constitution, is that the founders worked all these things in there that you can do these things to kind of, upset the apple cart and turn things over when they need to be turned over and kind of get things moving in the right direction and get people thinking in the right direction. Now, it doesn't matter how you feel about Mr. T or Matt Gaetz or McCarthy or any of these guys. What matters is that you have a fight, at least the representation of a fight for what is true. And that's what we always have to strive for, is the fight for truth, the fight for righteousness, and return and restore to that. So basically, yes, the answer is yes. Anybody can technically be the Speaker of the House. And this is something that people have forgotten. We just kind of turn our minds off when it comes to politics, and we don't really pay attention to what the possibilities are. And yet Matt Gaetz, who already was the one really putting the wrench in there by not voting for the Rhino, McCarthy, who's, just going to do whatever the swamp wants him to do. He actually takes a stand here and stands against, and then goes even farther by introducing a candidate who must not be named. You cannot name him. And they throw that name into the ring. So very intriguing here. Now, here's something to consider, is that the next in line for the presidency is, of course, the vice president. But did you know that the third in line is not, you might have thought the third in line was, I don't know, the Secretary of State or somebody like that. But no, it's the Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the House. So, which is currently vacant. It actually says vacant here on the screen, if you can see that. So that's very intriguing indeed. Could this be a ploy to get him back into the House of White, Casablanca? That is intriguing indeed, because we know that the two people ahead, nobody likes them, and there's lots of ways that they may be removed from office, legally and lawfully, of course. But there's lots of ways that could occur. And boom, who would be the one to take the reins? This person right here, whoever fills this vacancy. So that's very intriguing. Now, there's different ways you could spin this. You could say, in one sense, well, sort of the surface way to look is like, yay, it's a victory for truth and a victory for the righteous, or the conservative, the Christian values, let's say. Or is this a deeper strategy of the beast system? So that to make us all go along with it. Because at the end of the day, whoever's going to rise up and be leaders among the beast system is going to have to win all the people over. And you're going to have to win over, the Christian Conservative Club. You're going to have to win over the loony lefty club. You're going to have to win over everybody. And so it's an interesting question. Could this be sort of a backhanded ploy to make one side think they're winning when in reality it's all been planned from the very beginning to come about this way? Again, it was only one person standing up so far, but it only takes a spark to get a fire going, So others could join the bandwagon, so to speak, there. And ultimately, what are they really doing by presenting that name? They're bringing the truth back to the surface. They're really bringing up the fact that this is all one big farce. We're all being lied to, and the biggest scam is happening in human history against us all. Just to end this off, and then I want to get your thoughts in the comments. Revelation 13, verse 3 says, "And I saw one of his heads," and this is talking about the beast, right? The beast from the sea. He says, "I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast." Now, it's interesting, the beast obviously is, the satanic force, the evil force, but we know Satan masquerades as an angel of light, right? And so it's something to consider, is there kind of the wound of death in terms of quote unquote losing an office and then having that office restored back to you? Is that the healing that we're talking about here? Something to consider, kind of an interesting thought. But I want to get your thoughts in the comments, so let me know what you think about this whole situation. I'd love to hear what you think is going to take place as we go forward. Amen. Loving you guys, and wishing you all the best and all the blessed, and